Welcome to Rewriting My Story, the podcast where healing meets growth and every chapter becomes an opportunity to rise stronger than before. I'm your host, and each week we dive into real motivations about resilience, self discovery, faith, purpose, and the journey of becoming the best version of ourselves. Whether you're overcoming setbacks, learning to love yourself again, or stepping into a brand new season, this space is here to remind you that your story is still being written and you hold the pen. So take a deep breath, lean in, and let's keep writing our stories together. Have you ever noticed how some people will create the problem, deny they created it, and then become offended by your response? That's something I've been sitting with lately. Not because I want revenge, not because I want an argument, but because I'm learning that accountability is becoming more and more rare, while offense is becoming common. People will throw the stone, hide their hand, and then act surprised when the person they hit finally says enough. Today's episode isn't about calling anyone out by name. It's about calling the behavior what it is. It's about protecting your peace without losing your character. Because healing doesn't mean becoming silent. Healing means learning how to speak the truth without allowing bitterness to become your voice. There comes a point in life when you stop apologizing for seeing things clearly. You stop letting people rewrite history just because the truth makes them uncomfortable. You see, accountability, it's not punishment. Accountability is just simply ownership. It's having enough integrity to say, I made that decision. I said those words. I hurt someone. But when people refuse to do that, then they expect you to carry the weight that they created. I've learned something that changed my perspective. Someone else's refusal to be accountable is not my responsibility to fix. I don't have to twist myself into someone I'm not just to make another person comfortable with the choices they made. I don't have to pretend I wasn't hurt simply because they don't want to acknowledge the hurt they caused. Another lesson God has been teaching me is this: people don't get to take away my God given ability to choose. They don't get to decide how I feel, who I forgive, what boundaries I establish, or what version of myself I'm allowed to become. For so long, I think many of us have lived trying to fit inside the expectations of other people. We become smaller to make others feel bigger. We silence our convictions to avoid conflict. We settle because someone else is uncomfortable with our growth. But God did not create me to live according to someone else's comfort. He created me with purpose, discernment, and free will. The choices I make should be rooted in wisdom, prayer, and peace, not manipulation, guilt, fear, or someone else's control. Here's what I've also realized: people who cannot control your decision often try to control the narrative. They'll make you look different or difficult because you established a boundary. They'll call you selfish because you chose yourself for once. They'll say you change as though growth is something to be ashamed of. And yes, I have changed. I don't entertain confusion the way I used to. I don't chase explanation the way I used to. I don't beg people to understand my heart anymore. My peace has become too valuable. My relationship with God has become too important. My healing costs too much to hand it over to people who refuse to respect it. The hardest part isn't always what people do. Sometimes it's realizing they expected you to never respond. They were comfortable with your silence because your silence benefited them. But when your voice returned, suddenly you're the problem. No, I'm not. Speaking truth respectfully is not disrespect. Setting boundaries is not bitterness. Walking away from unhealthy behavior is not hate. Protecting your peace is not pride. One thing I've promised myself is this: I will not allow someone else's lack of accountability to rob me of my integrity. I won't become dishonest because someone lied to me. I won't become manipulative because someone tried to manipulate me. I won't become hard because someone treated me unfairly. God has done too much work in me for me to abandon my character every time someone tests it. That's real growth. Not pretending you're never angry, but choosing to not let anger become your identity. If you're listening to this today and you've been carrying frustration because someone refuses to own what they've done, hear me clearly. Let them answer to God for their choices while you remain responsible for yours. Justice doesn't always happen on our timetable, but accountability always has an appointment with truth. So release the need to convince everyone. Release the need to defend yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Release the burden of carrying someone else's guilt. Keep your peace. Keep your integrity. Keep your boundaries. And most importantly, keep becoming the person God is calling you to be. As we end today's conversation, I want to leave you with this thought. You don't have to throw rocks back just because someone threw one at you. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply refusing to pick up the stone. Let God handle what you cannot. Let truth speak for itself. Continue walking in wisdom, grace, and discernment. The people who are meant to understand your heart, they will. The people who don't may never, and that's okay. Your responsibility is not to control their opinion. Your responsibility is to protect your peace and honor the person God is shaping you into. Thank you for spending time with me. If this episode spoke to your heart, I hope it reminded you that choosing yourself, choosing peace, and choosing accountability are never weakness. They're signs of maturity. So until next time, keep healing, keep growing, keep trusting God, and remember, no one can define your journey when God is the one writing your story. Thank you for spending time with me today on Rewriting My Story. If this episode encouraged you, inspired you, or reminded you that healing is possible, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who may need it too. Remember, your past does not define you, your future is still unfolding, and you are worthy of every beautiful thing ahead. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, and keep rewriting your story.